This is a journal page that I started just laying down some a shape of a bird basically, and you've got some splatters of paint where I was working on the previous page and it's gone on to the to this side. So it's just been covered in gesso, a light layer of gesso, and I just really wanted to play with some. I've got some washi tape here in kind of a range of blue, and I just really wanted to lay some down and just play. So this is another way that I would approach a page. I'm not necessarily thinking of painting on here, but I just fancy doing something just to process my thoughts, or just to take my mind off the things I should be doing. So all I'm doing is laying down strips. I'm not thinking about what it should look like or what it is I'm trying to create, and this takes the pressure off you having to think about something to do every time you approach a white piece of paper, that you've got to actually create something. And this is just a way for me to do something creative, because, you know, applying the papers, the washi tape to the paper is doing a creative activity, because this is like one of the stages, but I'm not committing myself to having to get out loads of paint and stuff like that. So I just wanted to show you that this is something that, you know, it doesn't have to, it can be like a 5-minute thing, because every layer is going to be important. So whether this is just a layer that, and that's all it is, the paper, then that's fine for now. And then next time I come back to it, I've got something else that I can work from. I can, you know, decide to add other things depending on the time that I've got. So it's really useful to have, let me see if I've just used all of them. Just use that one a bit more. It's really useful to have pages that you can just do that. You want to do something creative, but you don't want to go full blown and get out your kit. I mean, you can get out pencils and stuff like that. You can do mini sketches. But this is one of the layers that I would have added to my painting anyway. I would have put some background paper down, some pattern paper, and then worked from here. So the other thing that, if you've got time to do, got a bit of paint there, is a pen. One that works. I've got loads of pens. I use these in some of the projects where I when they've run out. I think this one's run out, is it? Yeah, when they've run out, I just use the pen in terms of mark making and adding texture. So I'm going to get my pen and maybe just write down some of my thoughts. And it doesn't matter if it goes on the thing itself, it's just then going to be another layer and a way for you to create without the pressure. So creating without the pressure, and just allowing you to express yourself as you need to. Okay, so I've kind of done some journaling on the page, and depending on how you feel. Like, I'm going to leave this here because, as I say, this is just a page that I can come to, I can write some stuff on, get some stuff out, be creative, 5 minutes, quick and easy, and then when I'm ready I can come back to it. So I encourage you to get a journal, or get some paper if that's what you've got. Get some paper and put it in a, put it together so that these are ones that you come back to. A journal is probably better, so it's all in one place. And this is just a jumpstart journal where you can just lay down stuff, lay down ideas, and do different things on it and then come back to it. What I would do to prepare another page is, let me find just a blank. See, I've got all these papers right, so I'll go to another page. I'll just go to another page. I've got this one here, which I created, and we'll turn it round this way. And this was just extra paint that was on my brush or card. I use this old credit card to get the paint off. So that's all I did, literally. I was doing it on another page, did that. And all I'm going to do is take in my pen. I just feel like doing some circles. That's all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to get a marker. I've got a black marker here. I did have. What I want is an alcohol ink marker. So let me get one out. And again, it's nothing planned, pre-planned. All I'm going to do is, with a fine point, just do some circles and use the other side. That's all I want. I just want a series of circles. It's like doodling. I find I do a lot of circles in my doodling, and doodling, they've shown, helps with thought processes. And again, that's all these little things that you can do in your journal. That's all they are, just to help you work through stuff, to give you a bit of time for you to, as I say, I use it when I'm thinking through stuff, and because there's always so much to do, we fill our lives with, multitasking and all, social media, and with the phones now, you're always contactable. Every time an email comes in, you're checking your phone or a text. So it's like, the social media, which is useful, now is quite invasive, because every minute of the day you're looking to see what's going on, as opposed to being able to take time to just think. So this is one of the ways in which I do it. I just kind of doodle. I just decided to do swirls. And some big ones and some small ones, using the the different surfaces of the pen. And again, this page is like can be then just a jump start for a piece of art when I come back to it. Okay, that's it. So I've spent my, got a short space of time, spent it doing something creative and preparing for another day. When I've got another bit of time, I can create something out of that. So I hope you found that useful. and find ways in which you can snatch 5 minutes of creative time. So I started this page and I showed you how I just felt like adding some different things to this page when I just had a short amount of time, and I just wanted to do something creative, and just laying down the washi tapes was a creative act, and then doing some journaling as well. And I think I did another page as well where I just added some squiggles and stuff like that. So I was just looking at this page and I just felt I wanted to do something, but I want to do something creative, and I guess what I want is to it's another kickstart. It's quite late and I've spent a lot of time doing a lot of paperwork, and so I guess what I wanted was I wanted to do something that was a bit longer, but I know that I need to get some rest. And so again, this page is going to be useful in that it just allows me to get my hand in, do something creative, and without feeling as if I've not done anything art related today. So all I'm doing is thinking about colours, and the colours that came to mind was red and blue for some reason, and I want to add red and blue as elements on the page in some way. I'm using inktense pencils, and then I'm going to be adding gesso to the page, and what I find with that is that it will pick up the colour. So that's all I want to do, and I've just taken a handful of the colours and I'm just not even thinking about again what it is that I want to do. I just know that I want to apply colour, and some of the colours that I want to add, are here, and some of them as we go along I'll be finding other colours that I want to incorporate into this piece. So again, it is just playing, and I'm going to get some of the reds. I've split up my inktense pencils into kind of like loose colour groups, so and I know that I wanted to add red here. Not sure, there wasn't any specific reason, I just felt red, and perhaps red is that colour that invigorates and makes you feel, I guess, as I say, you know, wanting to be creative, but realising that sometimes you only have short amounts of time to be creative, and you just really have to go with it and not get hung up, because the alternative is not doing anything because you feel as if you don't have the time. Okay, so with that I'm going to add some gesso. So I'm going to get I've got some Old Faithful brushes that I use, and they're good when I just want to smush the paint around on the paper. I've got my tea here as well. I don't want to use that as my palette instead. So you can just using the brush itself, just using the water, take up some of the colour, but I actually just want to blend some of the colour, but also using the gesso. And then we've got the washi tape underneath, and we've got the words as well. So again, not really having a specific idea as to what I want this to look like, just knowing that I want to move the paint around. I'm going to want some texture, so I'm thinking maybe adding a stencil. So that we can get some raised bits going there. And see, it's just really adding the gesso on the page and covering up some of the elements there, but not really having a hard and fast idea. I'm gonna get one of my I've just got some cheap stencils here, come in a set of 4, and I'm thinking using one of those cards, credit cards, whatever you have. Credit cards are harder. This is like just a, so just get a credit card. I'm just going to be using gesso, and the image that was there might not necessarily be the image that we eventually end up with. So taking the gesso through the page, over the page and over the stencil, and then just gently lift it up, and then we've got some texture there that we're just going to let dry. And I'm just adding a bit more on the other side of the page, and that's it. That's all I'm going to do. So I'm going to leave this page as it is and come back to it, because as I say, I just wanted to do some of the things that I would normally do in the process, and be able to feel satisfied that I've done something. Okay, so the other page that I showed you with the rest of the gesso, I'm just going to take this and go over this. Just go over what I did. So there's a thin coating of gesso, and just spread it all over. And we'll allow that to dry. I think I want that to be a little bit redder, brighter. You see what red I've got here. Okay, I'll just do that there. My brush. And just blend that in. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry, and we'll come back to that another time.